Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Jonathan Quintero, and today I'm going to briefly summarize the video about learning language through tasks and activities. And also at the end, I'm going to give my own conclusions about that. Okay. So let's begin. First of all, it is pretty important to divide this important topic into two parts. As you can see, we have learning language and tasks and activities. But what is learning a language? Learning language is broadly defined as developing the ability to communicate in a second or in a foreign language. In this way, the teacher is going to try to develop all the communicative abilities in their students in order to let them or to give them the opportunity to communicate in a different language in such a way in which they can be understood. Okay? Also, we have tasks and activities. A task can be said to be any activity that is done with a particular purpose. On the other hand, an activity can be said to be a work that is done with no particular purpose in mind or with some purpose in mind. Also, a task can be called as an assignment which someone has been assigned to do. In this way, these two types or these two concepts have to be enabled. An activity is made with different tasks in which our students will develop their communicative abilities or their skills in that foreign language. Okay, let's continue. Here we have like an introduction in which you can see the most important topics that were talked or mentioned in the video. So the first one is the task as an environment for learning. Also task demands, then task support, then balancing demands and support. After that, the importance of language learning goals, then defining tasks for John Lerner classrooms, then stages in a classroom task, and finally task as planned and task in action. The task as an environment for learning. Classroom tasks and activity are seen as the environment and ecosystem of learning and should be used as a tool because children are active learners that used to find meaning and purpose for activities and present it to them. So if we introduce a task in our teaching learning process, our students will be challenging most of the times. So in that way, they will try to give their best effort in each activity in order to be like the winners. For example, if we plan like a spelling contest or a writing contest, in which in that way they will try to use all of what they know in order to complete the activity in an effective way. Okay, task demands. We have two important task demands. The first one is cognitive demand, that is related to concept and understanding of the words. So how the students relate the new concepts or the new topics with their own environment. Also, we have language demands. That is related to using the foreign language and to use the mother tongue in connection with foreign language learning. So that is how our students or how we as teacher relate their mother tongue with what we are teaching. For example, we can introduce some different words like interesting. So if we relate that with their mother tongue, the word sounds a little bit similar. So in that way, they will learn the new language or the foreign language in a better way. Then we have task support. The task by the teacher will provide further support to pupils. They may also be supported by working in pairs and listening to their partner. In this part, this task support not always have to be with the teacher. Our students or their classmates, they also will give them a lot of support. They can build their own knowledge between each other. So when the students, if we have students that knows a little bit different about a specific topic, then they will share the information, and at the same time, they have to use their communicative abilities in an effective way, in such a way in which they can try to make that in the best way possible. So they have to use their English in a free way. Okay. Now, balancing demands and support. So in this part, students must learn something when doing homework. And also, if the demand of the tasks are too high, the students will do what they can and the learning objective will not be achieved. For that reason, it is pretty important to plan each part of our classes in order to promote an effective learning and at the same time to achieve all of the objective plans in our class. Remember, when we plan a class, we have to plan a general objective and some specific objective. And to achieve that general objective, we have to follow the specific ones in an organized way. Okay. I know that sometimes we have different problems in the class and we have to move on or to change some things. But the important thing here is to achieve the general objective that we plan, because that is how we are going to know if our students learn or not. Now, we have the importance of learning language goals. First, language learning goals is the step to ensure balance of demands and support produce language learning. Also, provide scaffolding for the task breaking down tasks into manageable steps with sub-goals. Third, too few demands, too few demands will make language learning boring. So in that way, we do not have to be a little bit like making our activities really easy. We have to make or to try to find a balance between what we are trying to teach and what they already know. So we can present an activity in which they can develop in an effective way. And finally, in the fourth point, we have too many demands will make the anxious and fearless of the foreign language. So if we make our activities too difficult, our students are not going to learn in an effective way. They will feel frustrated and they are not going to complete the activity. Then we have defining tasks to join learning classroom. A classroom task should have a clear purpose and meaning for the children. For the teacher, they should have a clear language learning. This part is one of the most important around this topic. So, when we present a task in our classroom, it is pretty important to set a specific objective to our students for that specific task. For example, if we are teaching about animals, we can make an objective that our students that at the end of the class, our students have to know 5 different types of animals. So in that way is how we are going to manage this part. Okay, then stages in a classroom task. So look at this part. We have 3 important steps as we were mentioning throughout all of this presentation. First, we have preparation, then we core activities, and finally we follow up. Between the preparation and the core activity, we are going to present the goals, I mean the objective of the task or the activity, also the main topic, and then we are going to present some interesting activities in such a way in which our students be interested in the class. So it is like a warming up period. Okay. Then between the core activity and the follow up, we are going to build on successful completion of the core. And also at the end, we have to make a specific evaluation to know if our students achieve the objective that we plan. Okay, finally, we have task as plan and task as action. Task as plan. In the task as plan, the teacher may not know what will happen when the activity is used. So the teacher is just based on the objectives that they plan. And task as action is when the task is used in class based on what actually happened. So in this part, the teacher is a little bit more conscious about what to expect with the different activities. Okay, to conclude, first, activities and tasks must be planned, have structure and demand because it could help the teacher to manage the class in a more effective way and to achieve the goals proposed. Second, using tasks and activities in the teaching learning process of a language will help the students to develop their responsibilities. Okay, if we present different tasks or activities in our classes, we can try to make or try to help our students to be more responsible with those activities. So in that way, they will try to make the biggest effort to complete the activity. And finally, learning a language through tasks and activities gives children the opportunity to use everything that is around them to complete what is proposed and to get success. Remember that children are pretty competitive. So in this part, I mean that our students will use their communicative abilities and all of they know in a more free way. So for that reason, we are trying to introduce different tasks in which we as teacher are just going to be like a guide. They are going to perform the activity along with their classmates. And sometimes if they have some doubts or things like that, we can be their support. So thank you so much, and that's all.